The Village of Sayward respectfully acknowledges the land that we're gathered on, the unceded territory of the Comox First Nations, the traditional keepers of this land. We're going to call the meeting to order. Introduction of late items. Suggestion recommended that we remove item 13. D for dog. There was a little bit of confusion that has to get worked out, so we can bring that back to the next meeting. All in favor? Opposed? Discussion? Done. Removed. Okay, approval of agenda. Everybody's good with the agenda? As amended? Minutes of previous meetings. Recommended resolution that the minutes from the regular council meeting held on June 14th, 2022 be adopted. Do I have a motion, please? Do I have a second? Thank you. And we have discussion. Opposed? All in favor? Carried. And that the minutes from the special council meeting that was held on June 28th, 2022 be adopted. Motion, please. Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Discussion? None. All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none. Motion's carried. Number 5, petition and delegations have both canceled. So number 5 is history. And now we're going to go into correspondence on number 6. Let me just get down to okay, with correspondence, we have a few that are going to need to be pulled and discussed. For example, we can start with A from Bob Sanson, this the Sayward Valley Folk Music Festival Society. In here, in his letter, he states that the remaining money after the performers are paid will either be given to the Kelsey Center or Sayward Futures. Now he's asking for use of the Kelsey Center. So in my opinion, the money should go to the Kelsey Center. And it should be clearly defined on which one it's going to go to or what percentage is split. But I think if we're going to give a concession on using the Kelsey Center, that the money should go back to the Kelsey Center. Council, what do you think? Councillor Tinsley? Sorry, can't hear you.
I would agree with that.
Thank you. Councillor Polson?
I would like some clarification from Mr. Sampson on the whole letter that he sent in, because I have a question about his assertion that the folk society, society is actually a society. I believe it's a committee, and it came under the auspices of Sayward Futures. So I know in the past Sayward Futures has supported them when there has been a loss in money coming in after for the performances. So Sayward Futures has picked up those losses, and I would suggest that we leave this until Mr. Sampson is ready to come forward again with a presentation.
Okay, so in the past, this has lost money and Sayward Futures has had to pick up the balance of the loss. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you would like to make a motion to hold this over until Mr. Sampson can present to council?
Till at such time that he can present the, a clear outline of what the expectations are from the committee. Or if in fact it is a society now, then that should be made clear.
Okay, so do you want to form that into a motion, please?
Oh, Lordy. I'd like to move that the correspondence from Bob Sampson be set aside until such time that, and the request from Bob Sampson be set aside until such time as he can make a presentation to council on his proposal for using the Kelsey Center for the concerts.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, carried. Okay, so Bob is moved over. The next one is the Tour de Rock. Now, in the past, we've always given the Kelsey Center for them to use, but the pool and the hot tub, I don't think that, has that been given in the past? I don't believe so. Yeah, it was just showers. Yeah, because I think we have to be somewhat careful there. I would prefer them not to use the swimming pool and the hot tub. We are shut down. We would have to have lifeguard liability. Is this going to be September? And we're going to be staffed? Okay, so then we would have to cover all that cost. Councillor Paulson, what's your thoughts?
I think that we have covered the costs of using the Kelsey Center in previous years. And I think it's a good cause, and they've always had a very good reception when they've come to Sayward. So I don't have any problem with absorbing those costs.
Absorbing the cost of lifeguards
Of
would be
lifeguard and use of the pool.
Councillor Tinsley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just clarification. So we, as we understand, Councillor Paulson, we did the full meal deal, as we'll call it, in the past. So we would just be repeating the same thing, right?
Other than the pool and the.
Well, no. Is our understanding, I'm just trying to clarify, that we did provide the pool and lifeguards before? Is that correct?
I can't be 100% sure on that, but I know the showers were available for them. So
right.
To use as part of using staying overnight there.
Yeah, I know the showers were a part of it, but I don't think the pool and the hot tub were.
Does use of the hot tub require a guard? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because they ride in basically in there. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we can
pool for 2 hours. Something.
Pool for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Councillor Paulson, you're okay with that?
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Okay. So we'll let them know. Pool, 2 hours. Okay, next is the letter from the Oscar Days Committee asking for the vendors' fees to be waived. That's been a bit of a bone of contention in the past, licensing. So council, what's your feedback on that? Councillor Tinsley, looked like you wanted to speak.
Well, we somewhat be setting a precedent I'm just weighing it in my mind as I'm responding to the question. As I understand, some of the proceeds will be used for charitable purposes for the village, for the health center. Not from the vendors, that's correct. But I mean, the operation of the ball game. So we're weighing that against the fact that we just debated it around vendors, mobile vendors, and having a licensing fee. I would suggest the possibility that we look at a reduction in the licensing fee, but not remove it altogether. Those are my thoughts.
So to have a fee that's for a couple of days opposed to the year, the annual fee?
Yes, for this particular event, to show some accommodation without, shall we say, just waiving what we've already put in place completely.
Okay. Councillor Paulson, your thoughts?
I do agree with Councillor Tinsley that this will set a precedent, and we may have one food truck this year, but there may be many more when they find out there's no mobile vendors fee, and the proceeds from the mobile vendors is not going to the community like the proceeds from all of the Oscar Days events and things like that. So I would suggest that we maybe set a fee, set a rate, and but request that the fee be given to the benefactors of the, for instance, the PAC and the clinic, rather than the profits going into the pocket of the vendors and not having to pay the vendor fee. If they go to any other event in any other community, they would have to pay the fee for having their mobile vending. So
yeah, I agree. However, I mean, our annual business fee, I believe, is $300, is it not? So if we did this, I can see doing the Oscar Days weekend for, say, $100 per vendor. I think that would be reasonable, but the money go back to the municipality. Because we need to, when we have a business fee, that fee, business licensing fee, always goes to the municipality. And they are raising money. I understand what they're raising money for, but we don't want to set a precedence either on sending business fees to other organizations in the community. Sorry, go ahead, Councillor Tinsley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to add, so we'd want to be clear that this would this be a fee of, like, I'm supporting this reduction, but would this be a fee of $100 that then qualifies for the whole year?
No,
or is it just for this
the
event?
weekend.
Yeah, that would make sense to me.
Just for Oscar Days and Oscar Days alone, but the fees has to be paid to the municipality.
I
Do you
agree
with that, Councillor Tinsley? You agree with that? Okay,
I agree with it as well. Thank you.
so we can send her a letter. Make a motion that the vendor fees for the weekend of Oscar Days be reduced to $100 for the weekend paid to the municipality. Do we have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
I'll second it.
discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion's carried. Does anybody on council need to have D, E, or A? D, sorry, D, E, or AA?
TERAA.
Yeah, we can make that F.
Okay,
Do you need that pulled?
I would like to discuss the letter from artist Todosichuk from the Ministry of Agriculture and Food, the one on the ALR, and the changes coming to the being able to build non-farm structures on properties. I wonder, when I read through this and then I got back to the bylaws section where we're approving the fees and services bylaws on page 192 of Schedule G, if we need to contact the address given in this letter to make sure that our bylaws and the fees that are listed under the ALR application Land Reserve Commission are fine the way they are, or if we need to look at adjusting them to meet these new
CO,
regulations that are coming in on August 31st.
CO. Okay, so we'll look into that. We could bring it back for the August 16th meeting.
Okay, thank you.
It won't hold up our bylaw passing because we can amend that on the 16th of August.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so correspondence be accepted from A to F. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
I'll second that.
discussion? Opposed? All in favor? Passed. Number 7 is council reports, and I believe that's Councillor Polson. Go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to speak to the use of the gazebo and the upgrades that we discovered needed to be completed so that it could be more thoroughly used and enjoyed. And during Canada Day, we had 8 volunteers working in there, preparing and serving and cleaning up the food, but we needed to have water and electricity to the site. And that had to be gained by having extension cords and water hoses run from the nearby, the closest serviced campsite. So I would like to suggest, because it was so awkward trying to work with the water, especially when it was on the other, you couldn't really bring the hose into the gazebo. And I would like to suggest that we look into having a water supply and electrical supply directly at the gazebo, so that when people are using it and require it under the food safe rules and food service, that it is there and can be easily accessed. I would suggest that it be a locked service, so that when people are applying to use the gazebo, then if they want to use electrical and water, then they have to sign the key out. Even though we had the electrical coming to the site, we still had to run extension cords inside the gazebo. So it was a tripping hazard and a safety hazard, and it took longer for the public works to get it all set up and ready for us. So if the water and electrical was right there, it would be much easier, and all in all, for everyone to be able to use. It was a beautiful location to do the food prep and service, and there was a long lineup. So I also would like to see that we can get the access to it, the sloped access, done in concrete, so that it's a firm, secure base for people to approach the gazebo. With the rocks off to the side now and kids and people coming up, it was a little bit hazardous with the way it is now. So, and I am recommending that we use the COVID renewal funds to get this done. And also that we post signs in the gazebo, because one of the beautiful tables that have been set up in there has had a portable barbecue set on it, and there's a big burn melted area in the table. So I think rules for using that area need to be posted and clearly marked, so that so people aren't damaging the stuff that's there. And one of the oh, that was an echo. One of the ladies from the apartment came and sat in the gazebo to watch the parade, because it was sheltered, and she was kind of away from the kids and dogs and people that were running about collecting candy and things. So, and she sat there all day. And as I read through the agenda tonight, I noticed that in the age-friendly proposal or grant application, that one of the things we're focusing on is outdoor buildings and access to shelter. So I think it would make it a much more user-friendly place, and it would also meet the needs of the OCP and the age-friendly buildings and outdoor areas. So I would like for this to go forward to staff and have them come back with some quotes on what it would cost to get these upgrades done, and report back
Okay.
to us for the next meeting.
Is that a realistic time frame, CO? For the first meeting in September? Councillor Paulson, the CAO is asking for the first meeting in September,
Sure, that would be
not the
fine.
August 16th meeting?
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be fine.
So we don't need a motion on that at all. We just get prices. We'll bring it back in September and take a look at the feasibility at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Basically, see we get quotes. Metal, the metal one, we the quotes versus the amount of funds we have.
Well, let's look at the funds and let's look at the cost of hooking up first before we get into the rest of it, in my opinion. Okay, you're okay with that, Councillor Paulson?
Yes, if we get prices on the signs and
Okay.
yeah, the upgrades, then we can look at the specifics of the sign postings. And it's such a beautiful place to use, and it's a shame that you know, it can't be used more fully. So I really hope that we can move forward with this.
Okay, because we also have to be looking into that Rick Hansen grant in terms of getting that pavement. Oh, it's not up. It's not open yet. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So we're going to move that to September. Okay, number 8, reports of committees. None. Mayor's report, none. Unfinished business, none. Staff reports. The recommended resolution that council approves the 2021 annual report. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
Second it.
discussion.
Could I speak
Anyone?
to that,
Councillor
please?
Paulson?
Yes. As I'm reading
ahead.
through the report, I noticed that it's the 2021 annual report, And yet there is a lot of documentation in it that refers to items that have been done
That's
in
right.
2022, which I'm wondering whether they should be taken out of the 2021 report and then put into the 2022 report when it's due at the end of the year. There's a lot of information in it that I'm not even sure that council has been aware of. And what I'm referring specifically to is the tourism development and economic development for around tourism. So all of that information seems to have happened since the beginning of the year. And I think it's more relevant for the 2022 report. I don't know
Okay.
if the rest of you had a
CFO?
chance to read it.
CFO, can you comment on that, please, on the microphone?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So just for council's information, the annual report, it must report on municipal services and operations for the prior year, and then it also includes objectives and priorities for the current year. So anything that's listed in that report, Council Person, that you see for 2022 is most likely, in essence, pulled from your strategic plan for 2022. And it's in the annual report showing council's, future projects and your objectives for this year. And then, yes, next year, when we do the 2022 annual report, what will be included is the progress on those items and what happened in the year. And it will report on the services and operations for 2022.
And 2023, it'll show what we got.
Yes, it'll
forward.
have 2023 looking
Correct.
forward and what your priorities are for 2023. Correct. Yes. Thank you.
So I did review the strategic plan that we did with the previous CAO last November, and specifically, again, in the tourism development, there's no correlation between what is listed that's been done in 2022 to what we wrote up in the strategic plan for 2022. So that's just one area that I have a concern, and I did look at the other areas too, and there's a lot of added information that that the councillors did not have in the strategic plan for 2022 that we did last November. I believe it was on a Saturday and Sunday. Anyways, I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Yeah, this is, okay. This was brought to us on June 14th, this annual report as well. So it's the same document as we had in June.
That's
Yeah,
right.
nothing's changed since
No.
the June.
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, so all in favor? You don't have to turn your mic on for that, but that's okay. Opposed?
I'm opposed.
Carried. Pardon me? I'm sorry, Councillor Paulson?
I said I'm opposed.
You're opposed?
Yeah.
You're opposed? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay, motion is carried. B is the Municipal Insurance Authority, the voting delegate and alternate. Does this have to be done now?
Mhm.
There's a deadline, the end of August, isn't it? But, or something like that, is it, Red? Yeah, I think it's the end of August. Just because we're a little late on council folk. Okay. And what's involved in this municipal insurance authority?
That's the
Okay.
kicker. You,
Okay.
you don't get the information until after you've signed up.
Uh, Okay, so do I have any volunteers? Melissa Coates, what? Did I hear? Sorry? No, any volunteers from council? I'll jump on. No, I don't have to be one. I can be 3 or 2. It doesn't matter.
So you have to be physically. You have to be physically present at the BCM then?
No, at the their AGM.
Their AGM.
It's at
Which is
UBCM.
at
Yeah,
being
and I'm
held
gonna
at-
be there.
You're going to be there, so you should be one.
Okay, and the only other person that's going to be there is Councillor Polson,
So there you go.
correct?
So yes,
So are you okay with being in there?
yes, I am.
As alternate 2.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We don't have an alternate 2. There's only 2 of us going to the AGM, UBCM for the AGM. Right.
Right now.
Okay. We'll appoint Lisa. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so we had the motions, so now we need the all in favor. Opposed? Hearing none, motion's carried. C, water, sewer, and user fee exemption. Recommended resolution that council approves the rental of the site 2 at $350 a month for the nurse practitioner until July 31st, 2023, when council revisits. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
I'll second it.
discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, carried. Sorry, did I miss? I'm hearing voices, sorry. As long as I don't smell toast, we're good. Okay, and next is that the council approves a water and sewer fee exemption for 2022 to the Seaward Harbor Authority on condition that the washrooms remain open and available to the public. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
Second.
thank you. Discussion,
I have a
all in
question.
favor?
I have a question, Mr. Mayor. I
Go
have,
ahead, Councillor Wilson.
has this exemption been approved in previous years?
Yes, it has.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So opposed? All in favor? Carried. D, propane consumption. That council receives the propane consumption at the Kelsey Center admins building staff report for information and discussion. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
I'll second that.
discussion. It's on page 3. You have back page, give it a flip. Or,
Wasn't there another final resolution on the last one?
yeah, we did that. Do you have that one?
Final resolution.
Page 2.
70.
Oh, sorry, no, under the recommendations, keep. That's an old.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
It's just, sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. We'll just be a moment.
No, it's counselor difficulties.
Answer difficulties, we'll just be a moment.
I have now found my spot. Thank you.
Okay, we're good to go. So correct me if I'm wrong, we're in the discussion portion of this. is that Hydro is going to come out and they're going to give us a cost on what it would take to retrofit from propane to electric heat. Is that correct? Nothing's been scheduled in that? Well, the propane cost is ridiculous. So I would like to make a motion that we investigate a far more efficient way of heating the building. Councillor agree? Councillor Paulson?
Yes.
Agree? Okay. So we have a motion. Do we need a motion on that? We need a motion for council. No, we're already in the motion, sorry. So let's finish this motion first. Any other further discussion on that? No? All in favor? Okay, opposed? Carried. And a second recommended resolution is that staff, I guess, investigate a more efficient financial way of heating the Kelsey Center. Do I have a motion, please? That is the motion. I need a second.
I'll second that.
No.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion's carried. E, on the age-friendly. The council approves that the Village of Sayward 2022 age-friendly plan. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
I'll move that.
Second?
Sure.
Second?
I'll second that.
Well, whoever's doing the minutes can just pick whoever they like there. Discussion? Oh, opposed? All in favor? Carried. Okay. And Strategic Priority Fund grant application. Recommended resolution that council authorize the submission of the application through the UCBM Capital Infrastructure Stream Strategic Priorities Fund 2022 for the water system supply and conservation improvement projects estimated at $3,053,800 and $280. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move
I'll
that.
move that.
Second,
I'll second that.
discussion?
I
All in
have some-
favor?
No, I have some discussion.
Oh,
Or
sorry. Go ahead, Councillor Paulson.
As conservation's part of this grant, I was looking through the whole grant to find out where the inclusion of residential metering and future development metering is. I can see that they're going to meter the log sort and the campsite. But I don't see where, when we had discussed at previous meetings, where a good conservation of water would be in installing water meters, so it could be more controlled and regulated for residential houses. Having meters installed as new buildings are permits are applied for, and then having the current residences have meters installed too, along with implementation of this grant if we do get if the grant's approved.
No, the grant is residential new builds, and all commercial would get the water meters, is what we discussed. We don't have any plan to have the regular homes have meters put on. It was strictly for commercial and new residential builds was the bylaw that we passed on that, not for pre-existing.
Okay.
That'd be
So-
something that we'd look at down the line.
Okay, so if we're looking at water system improvements, and the scenarios are that in the old structure, there's the possibility of many leaks. I think having the regular or the existing places have water meters too would also track where water is being lost, where it's leaking. If we get a new system that would track any faults in the system.
Yeah, we don't have the capital to be going in that direction yet. That would be another grant down the road, but it wouldn't be associated with this grant, because once you determine that there's a leak, for example, on Seaview Street, there's a leak. We're not going to have, and part of this grant is not the money to dig it up and replace the infrastructure underneath there to fix that. That's not included in this. There would be a different grant. We would be shelf ready with all the information that we have for another grant that comes up, but it's not currently, it's not something that we applied for with this grant. It's a different scope. So that would be on the future. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so that was discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. And that the village support activities, including this application, and agrees to provide overall project management. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
I'll move that.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, carried. Age-friendly BC program grant application is the recommended resolution that council authorizes submission of the application through the 2022 Age-friendly BC program, Stream 1, 2022 for the Village of Sayward zoning bylaw update project. And we're going to include the other one here, and that the village supports the activity, including this application, and agrees to provide overall project management. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second?
I'll second it.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, G is carried. Number 12, Emergency Services, Public Work Recreation Department reports, none. 13, bylaws, charge and fees amendment bylaw, scheduled A, B, C, G, H, and K, number 487, 2022, be given fourth and final reading. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second?
Second it.
Discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Excuse me, hearing none, motion's carried. Appointment of bylaw officer, number 488. The recommended resolution is that the appointment of an officer bylaw for 488, 2022 be given first, second, and third reading. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
I'll move that.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Oh,
Okay. Do I have discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none, motion is carried. Bylaw C, subdivision amendment bylaw 489, 2022. Be given first, second, and third reading. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Okay, second. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? You're opposed, Councillor Paulson?
no, no, I'm not.
No?
I'm just.
Okay,
going
sorry.
up Here.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Hearing none, carried. And can we group these two together? Let's see here. Yes. The Village of Saybrook zoning amendment bylaw 490, 2022 be given first, second, and third reading. Nope, we scrapped that. Forget that. And we'll forget the next one too. Number 14, new business. We have none. Public question period. Do we have anyone? Does anybody online have any questions for council? Nope. Okay, 16 is the recommended resolution for in camera. That in accordance with section 92 of the community charter, this council meeting will be closed to the public at this time in order for council to may give consideration to matters in accordance with the following sections of the community charter. Section 90-1, section A, section 90-1C, section 90-1E, section 90-1K. Do I have a motion, please?
I'll move that.
Second,
Second it.
discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Hearing none. Motion is carried. 17, the meeting is adjourned. We